with that done, I'm going to take in here and we're going to darken them up a touch. And get ready for the 45. Now at this point, like I said, what I'll do is I'm going to go in here and I really dress the hell out of that stone constantly on the 45. I'm going to go in here, do the 45s, and then of course I come back and I'm going to lap them. Once I lap them and look at that judgment call, then right in front of the camera we're going to do a seat run out test, and we're just going to see how close I got. Remember, I'm pretty sure it was 15 I'm thinking 15 to 16 was the worst. Now, it took that kind of battle to get them all laid in. If I just had it took and bumped them with a 45 or lapped them in, put them on there, within 500 or 600 miles, if you did a leak down test on it, it would probably blow as much as 5 to 7, maybe 7%. That'd probably be the worst. But more than that, the reason you use the run out dial, I've had a lot of people write me, it's about the longevity. Remember that this is aluminum with an iron seat in it, with a bronze guide, and the heat is going to change from one metal to the other. She's going to move. So if you're not going to do what most of the racers do, most racers will take the heads, put them on, and run them, say, at least 10 hours worth of dyno time. A lot of racers will run one race event and then pull the heads back off and redo the valve job. And I have witnessed a 25 horsepower gain doing that. So anyway, let's go ahead and let this dry a little bit and come back and we'll do the 45 and lapping and go for the final part, which is fixing the problem of the cold. To start with, what you always do, and I remember a comment I had from a customer about not bouncing it on the seat. Well, buddy, you have to do this. Okay, I got the double springs, and all I'm going to do the first time, I get it centered, and my pilots, like I said, I change them and my stone holders off. All right, I do a light tap. Now let's take a look at what we've got here. All right, now, it ain't near the seat width, but what you see is when you come straight down, if one side's wider than the other. Now, as you can see here, I think I did a pretty good job rounding them out as I got it almost identical. Now, at that point, what I do is I back off, come over here, and I'm going to hit a stone. I also look underneath, and I can tell, here's a good example. Look how I'm dark in the line, and right there, it's just untouched a bit. Okay? That's okay, because the second one is good. Pull it in. Now, let's go over here and see what we got one more time. And all it is a tap, because remember, I usually set them at about 30 to 35 on the width. Little bitty tap. All right, now, that is pretty good. I just got a little bitty bit, and I hope it comes in right here. All right, now, I'm a touch wider on one side than the other, just a little bit. We know we're not going to go down, so I take the 30, and I keep a little bit of pressure. And as you can see, it just barely touched from here to here, and it didn't bother nothing over here. That is the correct way, absolutely, to do it. I'm going to have a fairly centered seat. The run-out gauge, of course, will check it. So I'm going to go ahead now and do this same procedure. Let's get you a better look. Look how much wider. Well, remember, I touched the 30, leaning it just a touch. I could barely move it a little to get it just a tap touch this side from there to there. And then it's going to equal out over here. Same way over here, whereas on this seat, it came out pretty good, and I had to do just a little bit of a tap touch. All right, I'm going to go ahead and complete all of the 45s on intake and exhaust, and then when it comes to blue them, we'll take a look at it, re-blue them one last time, and then we'll go in there. Okay, now it's time to pull it in. Let's take a look at our seat work here. All right, and you can see how some of them I had to go back in there and barely touch the top of a 30. Here's a good example. Look at the thinness of the intake seat here. Go over here, it's a touch wider, but what you can't see is it's actually a 30 degree where I went back in there, kissed off, and tried to pull it back in. So let's go ahead and darken these turkeys up. I'm going to tell you on a side note here, these were some of the worst ProComps as far as getting the seats pulled in, and believe me, I've done around 30 pairs of these since I started doing them, and I don't know what the deal was. I'm hoping when I get to the second set, to the seat work part, that it ain't like this one. It was just damn horrific. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and let that dry. Let's get the other one real quick. We'll do a swap out. That's what I always try to do, is while one dicom's drying the other, it's kind of cold in here, pretty low temperature. It's something, I think in the 30s, so takes a little bit longer to dry is the point I'm trying to make. So we go ahead and paint all of them. We will do the lapping first, and then when we get the lapping and numbering done, we'll do the seat run out. Oh, one thing real quick, whenever I do double heads, I'm also showing this. This is for you, John. So you know, okay, notice the bottom number I stamp in an area is 8. That is 8 combustion chamber. And the 1 up here means first set. If I'm ever doing doubles or even triples, I always label them because they have to be numbered to the valve. And on these valves, since this is set 1, every valve will have a lot number 1 stamp on it, but right up underneath it will be the corresponding chamber number. That way we don't get valves and stuff mixed up from head to head. I am sending these unassembled just like I did Imhoff. I want them to look at them apart so they can give me a critique, tell me what they think about my texture, my laying and everything. They'll have all the parts there. Just, you know, they'll be unassembled for them to put them together. And that's pretty simple. I mean, the spring pressure on this ain't going to be bad enough where a hand crank can do it. You know, hydraulic roller is not real bad. So anyway, I'm going to let this dry a minute and come back here and start hitting them and lapping them.